Hey everybody, it's Region 4 Outreach and Communications Coordinator, Matt Cameron. And today on Drop the Tailgate, I'm with Scotty Ridley of Mosheim, Tennessee. He's a kayak fisherman, and he's going to tell us how we can get out in Tennessee and enjoy some awesome kayak fishing. Scotty, what do you say we drop the tailgate? You tell us all about it, brother.
Sounds good, man.
So tell me about kayak fishing, man. You know, there's all kind of different ways to enjoy the waterways, but it seems like paddle sports are really growing, especially fishing out of a kayak. Tell me about it, why you do it, and what you love about it.
Absolutely, man. Actually, I'm a director over one of our groups based out of Roswell, Tennessee, and it's called Northeast Tennessee Kayakers, and we put on tournaments for state qualifiers through a CAST organization, and we fish all over Tennessee, and there's a bunch of groups across the Tennessee. It's a growing sport, that's for sure. The last couple of years, it has exploded. I mean, there's been guys selling their bass boats just to get into kayak fishing. It's the cost of it's a lot less, but the rewards is a lot more. You know, the entry fees is so low, and the pots, you know, for like some of the tournaments we fish in is just way up there, like 8,000, 30,000. I mean,
whoa,
yeah.
So you're talking some real money.
Yeah.
When you get up into that. So when you say that it's less expensive, is it because your craft, your boat costs a lot less than a full rig?
Yeah, I mean, you can have a kayak decked out, I mean, to the, you know, top of the line, and just have, you know, $4,000 or $5,000 in it, and versus, you know, $60,000-$70,000 bass boat.
But so we're talking just a fraction of the cost for your boat and your rig, yeah. and you probably got electronics and stuff you can put on those things these days too, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty into it pretty hard. So, I mean, I run a 12 on mine like you would a bass boat. I mean, that's very few and far that you see that, but I like to fish offshore a lot too, so I like to get there and find those deep fish. And
yes.
So you got to have it to be able to see, and then plus I stand up in my kayak and fish 90% of the time.
Really?
Yeah. So I like that bigger screen so I can see while I'm standing up if I'm marking fish or whatever I'm doing, you know. So
they've gotten really stable too if you're standing up on this thing.
Yeah, I mean, the kayaks now, I mean, you just about have to want to flip them over to make them flip.
Well, so tell me how a tournament works with you guys. I'm familiar with the traditional bass tournament. You go out, you get your 5 fish, you got to be a certain length. Yeah. We ride them around in a boat in a live well all day. We try to keep them alive, and then we weigh them in, stand in line, take them back to the water, and hope they live. So it's a little bit different how y'all do it, right? Right,
that's the good thing. Another reason I like kayak fishing also is because when we catch the fish, this is actually one of the boards that we use, and it's called a catch board, and these are identifier codes that's unique for each tournament, and you actually just lay the fish on the board and take a picture from above, and we go off your 5 longest fish instead of by your 5 heaviest fish like bass boat. And once we take a picture, we just take, you know, another picture, selfie, whatever, and then we release it right there where we caught it. So it makes it, you know, very friendly with the fish because they're out of the water short amount of time and put right back in the water where we caught them.
Oh,
especially
yeah, I like
this time of year. I mean, we went fishing the other day and shot some footage, and I was looking for them bedfish because I know there was some around, and I actually found 4 and got 1 to bite, and I put her, you know, 10 feet from where she's out on the bed, put her right back and watched her go right back over her bed.
Nice.
So that makes it really good, and it's healthier for the fish.
It's got to be. It's got to take care of that resource rather than taking them somewhere else. You may catch a fish in one spot of the lake and take them to the hole into the other and turn them loose in a traditional tournament situation. There's no way that fish can make it back to that bed to take care of those fertilized eggs there. So I tip my hat to y'all for caring for the resource, and you know, catch and release in general is a great thing, something we promote heavily, but especially in tournament situation, that's fantastic.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Well, what about this for the general fisherman? Maybe he's not interested in tournament fishing. What's the benefit of using a kayak to fish for any species?
It's just you're so quiet. You get out there, you ain't got no motors on them, and like if I'm bed fishing and stuff like that, I'll turn my electronics off. If I know for sure I got bed fish in there and a lot of fish stacked up, I'll turn my electronics off.
Does the sonar?
Yeah, just because the sonar is going to, you know, cause some difference in the water. And I've got a pedal drive, and when I get up in those shallows, I kick that pedal drive up and get that paddle back out, just so I'm even more stealthier, because I want to be as quiet as I can, as stealthy as I can, and move, you know, very little disturbance.
Sneak in on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that, and just being, it's a whole nother aspect of bass fishing from a kayak because you're more with nature. You're closer to it. It's more personal. It gives you a whole new outlook on bass fishing, and I think it makes you a better bass fisherman, especially if you're fishing bass boat tournaments like I do. I fish both. So it gives you a whole new, side of things. You fish different too.
I can imagine that you're probably limited on the amount of water that you can cover fishing this way. And you said something earlier when we were talking before we got started here, but whenever y'all have a tournament, sometimes y'all don't just meet in one spot and launch there and go fish, right? Tell me kind of how that operates.
Well, most of the time we'll do what we call an online captain's meeting, and I'll have a captain's meeting that night before, and usually at dark, and then I'll give out identifier code, go over all the rules, and if anybody's got any questions, they can ask them, because we have new guys come in all the time, and we try to, educate them and help them, give them our phone numbers. So we're real helpful to new guys coming in, trying to get them going. And once we have the captain's meeting, we tell the start time, so like most times, like right now, we got a tournament on Cherokee this Saturday. It's going to be from 6 to probably 2 or 2:30. Lines in at 6, so you can go get on the water anytime you want that morning. Put in any words you want on the lake. We have boundaries set up where you can't go or, whatever. And as long as you stay within them boundaries, and then you just start fishing. And if your fish ain't biting where you at, you can load up and move to another part of the lake, and then at 2:30, if our check-in's at 2:30, we got a designated area, like it's probably going to be 25E this Saturday. And everybody meets there for the check-in and the awards and prize, all the prize money, trophies and gifts and all that stuff. So
there's still the social gathering part of it.
Yeah.
It's more so at the end of it than in the morning, the beginning.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, you said new anglers, a while ago. If somebody wants to get into this, what's the best way to get in touch with you or find out about maybe different trails that there are out there?
Just get on Facebook is the best place. That's where we do all of our stuff through Facebook because it's so huge, Just look me up on Facebook, look up Northeast Tennessee Kayakers, or if you're in West Tennessee or Middle Tennessee, just look up your local kayak. Just type in kayak anglers or tournament trails, and it's going to bring up everybody out in your area. But they're everywhere. It's all over Tennessee.
So Scotty Ridley on Facebook.
Yeah.
You mentioned CAST earlier. Is that the overseeing organization?
Yeah, that's the whole organization that's over Tennessee for the state championship tournaments.
Okay.
And then now we've actually introduced 2 more bigger trails now. We got a Bass Nation, which is like a step up above the state championship, and they're about a $7,000 to $8,000 tournament and like $100 entry fee or $125. So that's a big, gain there. But we're going to start having those tournaments now across Tennessee. And then Bassmasters has actually stepped on board this year, and through Huck, and they're sponsoring, and they're doing big $30,000 tournaments for kayak anglers. And it's really going to be big next year what Bassmasters has actually stepped up and going to do.
Now, that'll bring out a whole lot of folks right there a chance to win $30,000.
Fishing out of a kayak.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to open up the doors for people to be able to do that for a living, fishing out of a kayak.
A professional.
A professional, a full-blown professional. I mean, people call me professional all the time, but I'm not a professional. I'm not doing it every day. I got a job I go to,
Right.
I just happen to be very fortunate and lucky that, I've done well for myself, and I've got sponsors that backs me, and that's a plus. I mean, and that's another thing. Sponsors is starting to get on board with all the kayak, stuff too. And I mean, it's full-blown sponsorship, just like bass guys out fishing out of a boat. So,
well, any sponsors you want to mention? I see you got a hat that says Fish Monkey on.
Fish Monkey is a huge sponsor of mine. I mean, I've got Flying Fisherman sunglasses, Fish Monkey, All In Tackle. I've got 18 sponsors. I know I'll forget somebody. Gator Guards, Trout Magnets, JD's Custom Lures, Lick Creek, Jigs. All those guys helped me out tremendously. Bucks and Bass, Ledge Hog, they're all, and Bucks and Bass actually local.
Over in Dandridge.
Yeah, over in Dandridge. So,
good people.
Yeah, I mean, I've got all these guys on my shirt. They represent me very well, and they're companies that they stand beside of me. They don't stand behind of me. I've never said that. I always say stand beside of me because they support me 100% just as much as I support them. And I like it. They're family,
Absolutely. That's one thing I love about hunters and anglers. It is more of a family and a brotherhood. Yeah. And there's a kindred spirit that you have whenever you talk to somebody else that enjoys doing what you're doing,
Yeah.
and that's probably the same for any aspect of life. But
Yeah.
man, I love being an outdoorsman.
Yeah.
I love getting to meet folks like you, and especially ones that care about
Yeah.
the resource. It's not all about just how many fish can I catch,
Right.
how many names and sponsors can I put on my shirt. It's
Yep.
let's take care of these things,
Yep.
put them back safely, and we can catch them again another day.
Right.
So, man, Scotty, I've enjoyed this conversation.
Absolutely.
You've inspired me. I may have to get into this kayak fishing game. I'm not into the run and gun kind of stuff
Right.
when tournament fishing and all that, but yeah, drifting around and relaxing,
Yeah.
it really sounds appealing to me. And
It's all about having fun. I mean, if you catch fishy, that's a bonus. It's about having fun.
That's the best
You
way
can't
to
win
look
them
at it.
all. You just go out there and have fun. When it starts getting where you don't have fun, it's time to put it up and do something else.
Get out of it and try something else.
Yep.
Well, brother, I appreciate you getting to meet you today. Folks, once again, it's Scotty Ridley. Look him up on Facebook. Northeast Tennessee
Kayakers.
Kayakers. Get in touch with him. I'm sure he would love to share knowledge with you about how you can get started in kayak fishing. A lot of points and tips out there for you. So give him a shout. Appreciate y'all watching, and tune in next time for some more great Tennessee outdoor adventures on Drop the Tailgate.